Hey, Mama, are you ready for a little sneak peek under the curtain to someone else's life? Because today is Come As You Are Day, and I have Agina Graham. Oh my gosh, she is a new mom. I had so much fun talking with her because if you've been in it for a little while, this conversation literally just took me back to those precious days of when you just have that newborn baby and then all of the tiredness and craziness that goes with it. And so we're going to go through her journey. I mean, man, through in vitro, through reviving a third generation business and just completely changing her lifestyle. This stuff is just golden. So you're going to have a fun time. Kick back, relax, and let's get started. Okay, we are here with Agina Graham and new mama. So excited for you. You're not quite a year into your journey with having an actual baby in your hands. First questions first. What was the biggest surprise for you?
Oh, wow, you're starting off with the hard ones.
I know, right? Yeah, like because I always joke around. I'm like, logically, I knew what 24/7 meant. Like emotionally, it was like a slap in the face to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm usually really good at adapting. And
Sorry.
I had always had so much pride in myself about being able to adapt and overcome. I had him and I found it extremely difficult to adapt because everything went out the window. I'm very used to, especially in running my company, I'm very used to everything from time management, problem solving, thinking on my feet, everything that you can think of that comes with like a small business and running employees and customers and everything else. And then I get to him and there was like no rule book. It was like,
Right.
and here's this tiny thing dependent on me, and it's constantly his schedule, and I'm up all night and up all day. And, I loved like feeding and being with him and everything, but trying to feel like me and trying to do what Agina does and run a company and run a life and be a gym rat, all of that was just gone.
Yeah.
And it was very difficult to adapt to, I think, even internally, learning that I can't have those expectations for myself anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. And I struggled with that because I kept having those expectations of everything from like, I can't work out. I can't have a minute to myself. I'm constantly like, and I'm used to being called upon with customers. I'm used to everyone always going, fix this, fix this, fix this. But with him, it was a different fix this. So adaptation and the thought of adaptation was hard.
It's crazy, right? Like
Yeah.
doesn't matter what books you've read. It doesn't matter how many friends that are moms that have, hey, let me tell you this. It's just, there is no experience like it.
No. And I had, and, people told me, you need to give yourself grace because you're going to go through a hormonal swing and all of this other stuff. And then two, I was coming off of years of IVF and having drugs pumped into me and everything like that. So that too was a little crazy. I feel like I handled it, a lot better than I kind of thought I would. But still, you question little stuff like, who are you and who am I now? And you're trying to wrap your head around being someone else's, and then you're like, well, who am I? Who am I now? Like, no, this is who I was. This is what I did. This is everything. And now it's different.
Very. So I suppose I should take it back, and I probably should have started with this, but so tell me a little bit, or, tell our mamas who are listening a little bit about you. Who who are you? Now that you don't know, but like, what is it that you do? Your family life, like, kind of give us the brief rundown of who you are in that sense.
Um, so I am a what I guess the medical field considers a new older mom. I'm actually going to be 43 in August. And I met my husband 7 years ago, and he's actually 10 years my junior.
Wow.
But we met when I was about 34, and just whirlwind, you know, perfect synchronicity. Actually, our first date was literally all day, and we talked about every subject under the sun, from religion to everything, to just kind of lay it out there. And then at the end, we were like, any red flags for you? Nope. Cool. Red flags for you? Nope. Cool. Let's see
I
each
love
other
you.
again.
Right at the beginning.
Right at the beginning, first date out the gate. But we just synced really well, and we have traveled in different places all over the world. We love travel. So that's kind of who we are. He was a bodybuilder, and he did competitions. And
Oh,
so
wow.
when I met him, I just did like Zumba class and thought that was working out. And he opened up my world to lifting weights and being healthy and learning about macros in your food. So he taught me a lot, and got me into that world of being more healthy. And I'm so glad that he did, because I was one of those types of people that my mind is always going. I could not sleep. Even running a small business at night, my mind was constantly, so I had to like sleep in until 11 o'clock in the mornings. And then after meeting him and learning to change my diet and my activity levels and actually getting energy and things out of me, I was able to sleep.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, he really changed me. So I became a gym rat like him. And I was in the gym 5, 6 days a week. I would go in and lift an hour and a half each. That became my stress relief. That became my place. Because I am a small business owner. I own a pest control. I'm actually third generation owner of my pest control. My grandparents started it in 1950.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
I have turned this into a certified woman-owned business, and we cover all of DFW. So I have some contracts like city, county governments, like the city of Allen, McKinney, Keller. I take care of DART, all 650 buses, all 200 trains, plus their facilities, plus residential. I do it all, literally.
Wow.
But being a small business owner, that too, I was kind of thrown into it. And again, no manuals. I took it over from my dad 11 years ago, because I started noticing something with my dad where when I would speak to him, he would forget little things. Like he loved to go to Whataburger every day, and he would get him a sweet tea. And then he would go, "Oh, I stopped at that place that I like." And I'm like,
Oh,
"What?"
no.
So things started to kind of made me question. Then I started finding out that he wasn't paying his rent. He wasn't paying bills, and he had the pest control, and he would have people scheduled, but maybe just like 3 people a week. And I'm like, "Dad, what's going on?" "Oh, nothing. Well, turns out, after tests and everything, he had early onset Alzheimer's, and he's the only one in my family that's ever had that. So
Oh.
no one in my family, even thought to think that. But yeah, so I started taking it from him, and I started, I don't have a college degree. I went to court reporting school, and I was a court reporter for 6 years in Tennessee. and then came back here and literally took the business over from him and tried to survive, make money. Because when I did, at that time, it was like August and we couldn't even keep the AC on. I would have to pay like $20 or $50 at a time for the AC company to turn on the electricity for a couple of days so we could have some air. And I would go into his people and look up their phone numbers and start scheduling customers to try to get things going so that we could survive. So that's how I started. And that's probably too why I had a lot of anxiety and reasons that I couldn't sleep, because I'm always in fight or flight mode, it felt like.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the background. And now, you know, I had the company and met my husband, and eventually we got married, and now we have a beautiful baby boy after 3 long years of IVF. And troubles with fertility. And now, like, we're gravy, I guess. I'm finding my princess in the castle, I guess, more moment now, you know, kind of everything coming full circle and having it all.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So, man, talk about some, I can see why you were having a hard time sleeping and that's stressful. And it's so interesting too, because as soon as you sort of said, I'm third generation, what immediately popped to my mind, and I'm sure a lot of people that hear it is like, oh, she got this big successful company and she just kind of slid right in. That's, you know, really cool. And and also how cool is that you chose to stay in the family business? I actually have some friends that are like, they built this great family business and their kids want nothing to do with it. They're like, yeah. So, you know, that was really cool that you wanted to stay, but man, to take it almost from ground zero again and revive it and put life back into it, that is tough. That is some hard work. So,
yeah. And I'm not huge. I mean, I wish that I had, you know, where I'm at now, I wish that it was more than where I'm at. I still have a lot of the small business struggles. I still have a lot of like struggles with daily, you know, employees. I really wish I could have enough money to hire somebody to kind of come in and take my place a little bit more, and somebody that could sit in here and do the emails and scheduling customers and all the small tasks. But I'm not to that point yet either. So I'm well enough that, you know, it's rolling. And that's a little bit of a struggle for me too, that I'm trying to figure out, especially with everything that's been going on with the baby and stuff. Now it's like, okay, how can I get to where I feel more comfortable with my company and I can take a little bit more of a step back and be more with my family and not so every day, like I'm having to answer the phones and emails and text messages from customers and, you know, feel like I just have everything coming from all angles all the time. So it's a balance. It's a real balance.
Right. And so let's go through, now that you're in new mom life and you've got this company and married and all the things, what is like an average day or kind of week? What does that look like for you in your house now? Like, how have things changed?
We don't hardly leave.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah, so it's funny because he now works from home. I have always worked from home. I've never had an office to escape to. So we're working from home, and we recently moved from Louisville out to Forney. And when we moved in out here, we actually moved my sister-in-law in with us. She is our live-in nanny, and thank God for her. I had no idea. Like, I thought, oh, when the baby goes down for a nap, I'll be able to work and do some emails and make calls. Had no idea. And so thank God for her, because he's usually up around 6 o'clock every morning, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I'm not.
Ready to
And
go.
she helps me like get up and we get him going and breakfast and all of that stuff. And she kind of helps watch during the day and keeps him entertained. And Connor's working, I'm working, and we're behind doors working in our offices, but we'll pop out and just kind of either play with him or usually more so me. Kind of play and help a little bit with the feeding, the lunches, and things like that, especially when he's fussy and he's been teething. So, as we're going through the teething process. But yeah, and then 5 o'clock comes and boom, I've got 3 dogs that want to be fed, a husband that wants to be fed, baby, so it's trying to like do everything from wrapping up my day to making dinner and walking the dogs and feeding the dogs and getting them all settled for the night before bath time with baby and bottle and then put down and then a huge sigh of relief.
Like, oh, I can breathe now.
Yeah. Once 8 o'clock comes every night, I'm like, okay, I'm exhausted again.
So, when is your hour and a half at the day at the gym now?
Yeah, never. That's been a little bit of a struggle because, again, I was so like, health conscious, but I will admit once you really get into that world, you unfortunately become a little bit more vain. And so trying to be happy with the new me with the extra skin, I call it chicken skin. I feel like I'm in chicken skin because it's so stretchy.
Yeah. You're like, my belly doesn't quite look so the same.
Yeah. But yeah, trying to get used to that and not being able to get out and do what I'm used to doing has also been a struggle. But what I try to do is at least a couple times a week. My sister-in-law, her name's Della, by the way. Della's been great at, if I need to go to the bank for the company stuff, she's like, go hit the gym. I got him. So we try to manage. We also have a garage gym that I really should use more. But again, I'm at home all the time, and the gym is like my socialization, even though I don't talk to anyone, if that makes sense, just being out around other adults.
Yes.
So I have a hard time using our garage gym, but Connor doesn't. He's in there every morning, like 8 o'clock. He'll get out there, bust it out, which is awesome. I just can't do that. So she allows me some moments when I'm out, like picking up groceries and stuff like that. I try to block off a couple of hours that I go do that, and she's here with the baby and all is well. So I get a couple of times a week now. It was harder in the beginning to be like, once or twice a week? Like, what is this? But now I'm kind of like, I guess more used to it, and I've come to terms with it. So
it does. It takes some adjusting to that new reality and to your body not responding as quickly as you want, or just, the changes that happen that can't go back because you've had this baby. And it's like, and it's one of those things where it's like, you look at them and, oh my gosh, I remember now. I don't know if you nurse or not. I used to nurse because neither of my kids would take the bottle. I was tied to them every 2 hours. And I'm like, come on, kid. But at the same time, like when they talk about the breastfeeding bond, because it releases all that oxytocin. I was telling a friend this the other day, and it's so funny. I'm like, did you ever feel like this? But like, I would just be sitting there and looking at her, and I'm like, you're so beautiful. You're so perfect. And then like, I would have these thoughts like, I'm going to run away with just you. It's just going to be me and you. And we're just going to be the best family ever, And I'm like, kind of cuckoo, but like literally this would be the thoughts that you're going through your head,
Yeah.
And I think you kind of have to have that because you're like also kind of cuckoo because you sleep maybe, 2 or 3 hours a day at
Yes.
most. And
Yes.
and all of the same demands are still there.
Yeah.
And there's this baby. Like your business isn't going to stop
Right.
because you have this baby. Your
Right.
marriage isn't going to stop because you have this baby, or at least, we try not to. And then there's that, wait, I need to be around other adults.
I know.
Oh,
And
yes.
it's like, I'm leaving to go do the Walmart pickup because I have to get out. Like,
oh, yeah.
And
My
then you
husband
jump
used to
in
tell
the
me, he's like,
car.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you're like cranking the whatever music up, and I'll go through like my YouTube music list and stuff, and I'm like, Tool, Metallica, whatever I need, and I'm banging it out in the car just to have that minute of like me again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Andrew used to joke around. He's like, why don't you do online ordering? And I'm like, because when I walk in the store, I see other people.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is my time. Even if there's a baby in the cart, I'm still outside of the house looking at other people.
Yeah.
Don't take it away from me.
Absolutely.
So what would you say is the best part of your day?
Oh, here lately, it has been the mornings with him. Just when he wakes up, and he's usually like already sitting in his crib, and he's learning to like clap and stuff. And so he'll sit there, and I'll come open the door and sneak in, and he just smiles and sometimes claps. Like he's been sitting there waiting for mommy, and, I go in and get him and change him, and we kind of start our day, and he's just a little bit more snuggly and lovey. And that's like the best part. It's like, even though I didn't sleep and I was watching you on the monitor all night, and I know that you're learning to put yourself back to sleep and it's hard and things like that, just that little smile. It's, and anytime they like just reach for you or want you or whatever, I mean, everything else goes away. Everything else goes away. So that here lately has probably been the best part of my day. That, or if I'm like putting him down for a nap or at night or whatever, and he's just kind of, now he's learning to fidget when you're supposed to be going to sleep. So I get the nose grabs and then he's like, I'm like, no, it's not time to play. But you also can't help it because you're their world, and they're looking up at you, and they're just so happy to be with you. And so those moments are what make everything else, just sure. Well, I also take, I follow the like Buddhist mentality and principles. And so there's been a lot of learning of everything from like surrender and letting things be and letting things go. So yeah, I'm learning to try to be more in the moment and appreciate and accept each moment for what it is, and not try to think ahead and be like, I wish we could just get to this stage, or I wish this, or I wish that. Really just trying to enjoy what I have when I have it now.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you just reminded me there of, I've been up all night listening to you. Was that like, you got the mom hearing when suddenly he was born, right? And every little noise, they make the weirdest noises when they're born and they're sleeping. And you're like, are they dying? Are they choking? And then they're silent. And you're like, are they dying? Are they breathing?
I know. And I love this kid, but oh my God, ever since he was born, his little farts, they would wake him up. Now he sleeps through them, but you can hear it on the monitor. And I'm like,
he's got a healthy digestive system.
Yeah, we just die laughing. But so he makes all kinds of noises. And he also likes, he's always liked to sleep face down in the crib. So he almost looks like he'll have like his arms and stuff out. He looks like if you took a doll and set
Uh-huh.
it down in the crib on its face.
Huh.
That's how he sleeps. And so we're like, is he breathing? So
Is he
constantly
okay?
you're checking. Yeah. But he just, I don't know. It's weird. He
It's just
always
what he
likes to
does,
sleep.
right? They have
Yeah.
personality so early.
I know.
So, yeah, it's amazing. You're just like, oh my gosh. And then, so a well, might not be a quick question. And I know that you were on your in vitro journey for a while and you had several attempts. Are you thinking of trying again? Or are you like, okay, we got ours. I'm good. This was a lot. And our family is set. Or is it still just kind of, we're open?
Yeah, so we have had the thought that we still have embryos left and we have a little girl left. And so we have had the thought going into this that we wanted one boy and one girl. And my thoughts were I would like to do that, but I think I would rather him be close to 3 when she is born,
Mm.
because I wanted to kind of put some space there. And it's funny because we're getting a lot of questions from some of our friends too, because some of our friends now have 1-year-olds and they're like, oh, we're about to start trying again. How about you? When are you
Mm.
doing the next one? And I'm like, I need a moment.
Yeah.
um, I also have friends I feel like that they had little girls 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if little girls really are easier than boys, but he's just always had so much energy and they really are more like Velcro babies. I guess little boys are just so attached. And so it's been a lot with him.
Mm-hmm.
He never wanted to sleep through the night. We just now, maybe 2 months ago, finally started to get him where we could drop the midnight feeding and kind of put him down and get him through until about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And he's still waking up. He still wakes up usually at 12 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
But he never has been one to want to sleep. And it's just been a lot. And that, I think, in combination with just the adjustment of new parent life and the dynamic in a marriage, it's different with your marriage, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So all of these different dynamics, my friends are like, oh, we're going to get started again. You guys too. And I'm like,
You go for it.
oh, happy for you though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we do want to. I feel like I just still need a moment. I feel like I'm still collecting myself. I feel like now things are. I also had thyroid issues, fertility, or the infertility, all that I went through and the pumping of hormones. Turns out it triggered Hashimoto's disease for
Mm-hmm.
me, and
Same.
I had no idea that my levels were so whack.
Mm.
After having him, they were sky high. And I was having everything from like all this head pressure and neck pressure and headaches and pain, and felt like almost like I was dealing with a sinus infection that just kept going on for months. And
Mm.
then did my blood work and found out it was the thyroid levels. And so now we've been working at getting those under control. I looked into it, and there's a strong correlation with like gluten and your gut health and
Mm-hmm.
thyroidism. And so I went gluten free. And I have really been working at taking like thyroid supplements that are specifically made for that, as well as um, your pro and prebiotics and things
Mm-hmm.
like that, working on my gut health. And now all of that in combination, I'm starting to get my energy back. I'm starting to kind of feel like me again. It's not that I was depressed. I just felt like I was blah for
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
long, just kind of level. Now I'm starting to feel like okay, it's a little bit of the old me again and kind of, joke around and be me. And I don't just feel so drained and blah all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with that too, it's causing me hesitation because I just would like to be a little bit farther along in getting back to me some
Mm-hmm.
before trying to throw myself into whack of all the hormones and all the stuff again,
Yeah.
So we do, but maybe sometime the end of next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, hey, and that's the thing. Each family, you've got to make the decisions that's right for you because your lifestyle is going to suit one way or the other, or I love that you just your temperament and who you are as a person, and
Yeah.
recognizing that is so huge because you might have been like, well, we got to try now because my clock, I'm only so old, or I'm on the older side, and so whatever it is,
Yeah.
and that doesn't suit you, and now it's something that you can't take back, and now you're coming as a stressed out mother versus a mom who gave herself the time, and then, okay, now I'm ready, and so yeah, I'm glad that you recognize that difference and what
Yeah,
it
and
is
I
for you.
really hate that too, that the medical field really wants to drive into your age.
Mm-hmm.
It's so frustrating. And I found it so frustrating going through this pregnancy, at 41, 42, because, they're just like, oh, well, if you're going to do another one, you need to probably do it pretty quickly. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
why? I mean, every test that we have had to do on me to get me to this point, you see, I'm healthy. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's going to be a lot harder on you if you wait a year or two. Maybe. But on the other hand, too, I'm like, give me a little bit of credit because I've done a really great job at keeping myself healthy. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
continuing to do that by going to the gym and keeping up, working and exercising and cardio and everything that I can where I can to maintain and make sure that I'm healthy going into another pregnancy. I
Mm-hmm.
really hate how the medical community is all about age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
The one thing,
frustrating.
the one thing I did like about it, because I was also a geriatric mom and in vitro, is I got more ultrasounds because
Yes.
I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'll take that
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they
That was
always want to
really
make sure that the
cool.
baby's okay. I'm like, all right, all right. At least I get a side perk out of this.
Yeah. Yeah. That was really cool. I did really enjoy that. Yeah. And they almost thought that they were going to refer me to MFM nurse, but I forgoed it with my OB. I was like, nope, if I have any problems, I'll let you know, but I'm cool with just me and you. Let's
Mm-hmm.
continue on like this. And he's like, well, you're not having any issues. You're healthy. So let's go. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Cool. So one more question before we get into the shotgun round. uh, how are you keeping your marriage healthy now that you've got a baby? And I'm sure it took some figuring out.
Yeah. So that has actually been, I don't want to say like a struggle, but that has been new territory.
Mm-hmm.
Very much new territory because before the baby, we were so, I feel like kind of in sync on par with so many things. And after the baby, we found out that we had different parenting styles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which neither one of us, how are you going to know that,
Yeah.
going into it? So, we are learning to work with these different parenting styles and who each other is. And then also to trying to work around like me and all
Mm-hmm.
of the swings and all the stuff that I've been going through and feeling, whether it's, new mom to, like I said, thyroidism, all of these things that take effect. We have really, really, really had to have a lot of communication.
Yeah.
And I really wish that people would not be so scared to communicate to each other more. Even if it's something that you feel is a touchy subject, I feel like if you can just talk to someone and tell them, you know, hey, this is how this makes me feel, the resolvency, or, you know, I think like feeling the validation or being heard is a huge positive. And when you don't do that, it tends to do the opposite, and you tend to, you know, either resent or hold on to anger and things like that. So we're learning that we really need to communicate. And you really need to communicate, no matter what it is, how big or small you think it is. If you feel something, let it out, you know, let it go and talk about it and then move on from that. Because, yeah, I mean, it can just get these little tiny layers. They just, it can like pile up if you don't, I feel like. So, yeah, we are trying to communicate, and now we've started where we feel like we're going to try to incorporate like a weekly date night and have like a little bit of time to us again, because now we feel like he's at the age that the sister-in-law can watch him. You know, everything's fine, or we can put him down at night and she can stay up with him and we can go out. So now we're trying to learn to kind of have this coupledom of who we were, because now it feels like we only identify as parents now. We only know ourselves as parents now, and we've forgotten who we were before. So we haven't quite figured it out, but we're trying. We're on the path of trying to figure out these little nuances of how to be new parents and how to still be that couple and keep marching forward with a flame.
Yes.
And it's hard.
It's
That's
challenging.
another thing nobody told me to prepare for.
Oh yeah, it is. It is a challenge, and especially because it's like you know, we obviously Fun Rich Mom. We're focused on mom here, but it's true. It changes life for dad as well, and we forget about that. You know, for your husband, it's like all of a sudden, well, he's also a dad, and he's adjusting to that, and then finding those parenting styles. Like, what way what do you want to do, or how do you want to do this, and then going from all of the attention was on him and all of the attention was on you from him, and now there's this baby that's like, I'm number one.
Yep.
Oh, you guys wanted to be romantic tonight? What?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
it is a challenge. You know, it's not something that it's like, oh, piece of cake. It's something that takes work. So
no,
you're doing it. You're doing it the right way. I love the communication.
Yeah. And I hate how all the movies and shows and everything that you watch, they're all like, oh, life is bliss after a baby and our marriage is perfect. And it's like, why doesn't anyone talk about the real stuff? Like when you're completely exhausted with 2 hours of sleep and how both of you are covered in baby stuff, you know?
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's just like, I haven't showered in days because I can't. And it's like, I kind of stink. And when am I supposed to be romantic again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
That's a new life lesson.
Yes. Welcome to the club. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes. And, you know, and the one thing I can tell you, I mean, my girls are 5, almost 7 now, 5.5, and Zaya will be 7 in August. You know, it's once they start sleeping, once they get out of diapers, that was life changing for me. And then once they can buckle themselves into their car seats, that was amazing. So there's all these little milestones. You're just like, a little more freedom, a little more freedom. Oh my gosh. And it's a continual, but each stage comes with something else, like once they start walking, you can't wait till they walk, and then they're walking. You're like, whoa, now I got to really watch them because they're getting into stuff. And oh, look, my daughter almost just swallowed a quarter and choked to death, and or whatever,
Yes.
So, but it's just that constant. There's always going to be change, but I think you have the right key. Is okay as long as we're communicating about it and we're making sure that. I think that's the key. Is you don't let things fester. Because it's like when you just start piling them and stockpiling them, and it just builds like this ugly sore that starts, oozing, that it's just going to taint the relationship. It's going to taint your experience as a parent versus when you're like, okay, let's be in communication. We may not agree about everything. We might be super tired, but let's at least remember we're on the same team. We wanted to do this together, and we're going to figure it out. And I still love you. You still love me. We've got each other's back, and it's going to ebb and flow sometimes. Yeah. And as long as we can expect that, it's good. So, yeah.
I mean, following some Buddhist practices and spirituality have really helped me. Everything from the infertility side to now. Because not only am I able to live better in the moment and enjoy each unfolding moment as life happens, but I'm also learning how to let things go.
Yes.
And that's a huge, huge thing because I kind of feel like each person, like we're trash collectors, and through our life, we take our experiences and you kind of hold on to those experiences, and you have different interpretations from your experiences in life, right? But each of those, you kind of like bag it up, and you have like these little tiny trash bags inside of you. And I'm learning it's okay to have those experiences. That's what you're supposed to have in life, but also don't let those experiences rule you or make you upset at something, a situation, or someone that you can't control. Because you can't control life. You can't control someone else, right? So I'm learning to take those little trash bags and set them out to the curb and be like, hey, someone said this or did this. Cool. You know what? It is what it is. I accept, surrender, release. They are who they are. They mean well, or they said they're sorry. Let it go. And so I've really, really been working on the let it go. And it's helped so much. It just helps me like feel better because through day to day, you can hold on and collect to so many like little negative trash bags, right? Just hold on. And then if you don't say anything about it, you just hold on. And so I'm like, nope, no more collecting. No more collecting. I'm not a hoarder. Just let it go. Let it go and move on.
I love that analogy. That is a really fun way of putting it. And it just makes it like that picture is so clear, and it makes it so easy to be, that's what I've been doing. I got a little trash bag. Do I really want to have a trash bag inside of me? That's kind of gross. So let's get it out.
Take it out.
I might steal that one from you. I love that. Okay, so I want to finish up with some shotgun style questions. And I was telling you earlier, I'm like, I'm so mad at myself because I forgot to do it. I think the last 2 episodes, and they're some of my favorites. So as a reminder, this is just some random questions. I'm going to ask you first thought that comes to mind. Let's hear the answer. You ready?
Okay, go.
Okay, so we'll start with a fun one. What TV show would you want to be on?
I don't know. I'm kind of digging the whole House of Dragons thing right now. I think it would be super cool to be like a powerful chick riding on her dragon. Because there's an inner like Wonder Woman in all of us, right? And we all we don't bring her out enough, but we are beautiful, perfect creatures. And I mean, women are just amazing. And so that just getting on your dragon, slaying the world. I love it.
That's awesome. And I mean, if you're riding a dragon, talk about feeling the power, right?
Right? Right.
Okay. Oh, what is the most random fact that you know?
Well, since I am the bug lady,
True. This is going to be
a lot
interesting.
a lot of people don't know that ants are the one insect that never sleeps.
I did not know that. You're
Ever.
right. Oh my gosh. That's why they're so productive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Now we can share this one. Everyone has a new random fact. Okay. Do you prefer talking on the phone or texting?
I'm kind of middle ground. I'm still old school. So like me and my BFF, we've been friends since middle school. We still pretty much talk on the phone every day. But there's a lot of like the newer friends. I say, friends that have come and go in your life in the past, like probably 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Text.
Yeah.
I've only got a handful of people that I sit on the phone with.
Huh. All right. I got that. If you could have a lifetime supply of anything, what would it be?
I have no idea. I never really thought about that.
Right?
I do have an affinity towards chips, which
That's
sounds
my husband. I'm the
which sounds
sweets.
which sounds really funny. But probably I would be very happy if I always had chips and salsa. I know that sounds
Okay.
so weird. But yeah, chips and salsa make me happy.
I like it. I like growing a garden just so I can make salsa. Let's
Yeah.
see. Okay. Is there anything about you that people are usually surprised to learn?
Yeah, actually. A lot of people, after they talk to me, are very surprised to learn of, unfortunately, all the hardships in my life. I get a lot after people get to know me and they just kind of hear a lot of the things that I've gone through. They just tell me I never would have guessed. Just the way you are normally in life and how you seem to be so open to things. And I try to be positive and open, and I'm hoping that shows and have a light. I feel like every one of us has a light in us, and it's our duty to share that light with everyone else. I get a lot of, I had no idea you went through that stuff. Like you're still so good, like it didn't break you. So I get a lot of that from people.
It's kind of a neat one, though. If you're going to have one, that people get that just can-do attitude from you. That's kind of a cool one. Okay, last one. Can you touch your tongue to your nose?
No. No. I can't do the like the tongue twist thing or make it into like a U. Yeah, I can't do any of that. The only thing I can really do is like do my nostrils.
Oh yeah.
I can do that, or I can do one eyebrow at a time. But I do have a stupid human trick if you want to hear it.
Yes.
If I can do it without laughing. I can kind of like hum and do like this little noise at the same time. So, that's my stupid human trick. The only thing I can do.
That's a great party trick. I think the Pentatonics is going to be calling you. I mean,
I don't know about that.
You're perfect for an a cappella group. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Agina, I have had so much fun just listening to your story, hearing where you're at. I love it because it took me back to just to that beautiful, special place, that challenging place, that I want to pull my hair out of my head place, and that I never knew my heart could love this strong place of when
Yes.
you become a new mom. So I just thank you for that, because it literally is just such a fun journey to be there right with you and to take myself back to that moment as well. And I'm just so excited for you. You've got you've
Thank
got it
you.
going on. It sounds like you're taking everything and you're rolling with it and you're making it work, and it's gonna get better.
Yeah, thank you. No, and I'm so glad that we did this. And you have been doing a kick-ass job with
Oh,
everything from your emails and podcasts and all the content that you're putting out there. Like, it's great. It's great.
oh,
And it's
thank you.
great to hear that there, yeah, because so many things with us ladies are not talked about enough.
Mm-hmm.
From everything from infertility to just daily life to struggles with kids and marriage and everything. And it's really great to see that I'm not the only one, and
Yes.
I'm not perfect, and I don't have it all together. And guess what? Neither does everyone else.
Mm-mm.
And it's very easy to look at social media and everybody just posting things that look beautiful and perfect. And you're like, how are they on this beautiful trip somewhere right now? And it's like, I haven't showered in 2 days.
Right.
But to be, just have that remembrance of that's, their moment that they're putting out there, and you have your moments, but no matter what, it's not perfect for everyone.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. For sure. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. That's my goal, is just remind people you're not alone. You're not
Right.
alone, because when you're in it, it feels like you're the only one, because,
Yes.
it's so easy to get tunnel vision and look at everyone else and they've got it figured out and life is good for them. And
Yeah.
what am I doing wrong? And
Yeah.
you're doing nothing wrong. You are
Yeah.
just, you're in it. And so is everyone else. So
Yeah.
good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. Yes. That's
Absolutely.
awesome. Well, very cool. Again, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. I know that, my beautiful mama here that's listening to you is probably smiling and thinking about the times that just like I said, you just are remembering those moments. And I'm so glad that you guys have come here to listen today and to hear her story. And, like she said, I would love it if you would share this with someone so that they know that they are not alone as well. So, and then comment, let us know what you want to hear more of. And as Agina said, I do have an email list. So if you want to get on that, you can hop over to funrichmom.com. And I try to keep it funny and not overwhelm you. My sense of humor, though, I mean, sometimes it's a little wonky, I'll admit. In the meanwhile, though, go out there, make it fun, make it rich, and I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.